Karam, man, you're an admirable person and I'd like to talk to you. Right now I have a conflict with an Arab person and I don't want people to confuse the fact that I represent Christianity, I represent Catholicism with hatred towards outsiders. That's something I have to be very responsible about, and I want to make it clear that it's not like that at all. And I also want to send a message to all those people who follow me and to all those Arab people from North Africa, from Egypt, from anywhere, from all over the world. Here you may find a place, but it's time to speak out against what you see with your own eyes. And I would like to ask you directly, do you get support from your countrymen, even though you've said you also receive hate?
Not as much as I would like.
Want more support from your people?
Of course, I would like that. It has to be 100% actually. It has to be an absolute majority.
Do you think that lack of public support from your fellow countrymen is due to what you do?
Because I honestly think that they believe, like many others, they've sent me messages saying, yo, you'll never be one of them. That's what they tell me. You'll never be one of them. Even if you defend, let's say, someone from Spanish society.
So that message doesn't make you see? People like me have a very strong criticism against the discourse that says within a society there can't be an us and them, there's only us, we all are part of this. You're one of mine because you want the same thing I do, of course. What can't happen under any circumstances is the us and them divide. I'm not just focusing on the Moroccan-Spanish issue, I'll also address both the left and right, of course. To focus on heterosexual and homosexual, on black and white. There has to be a shared interest among all of us who live here for this country to do well. And when there are so many Maghrebis here saying you'll never be one of them, it already implies that there's a them and there's an us. Is that really positive for society?
No, of course it's not positive, but I also have to say that, to be fair, society doesn't really make them feel like one of us either. I've never felt like just another person. I've never felt like just another Spaniard or just another member of society. I've had to earn it myself. I've had to earn it myself because I had no other choice. I love Spain. I really like Spain, and I can't imagine living anywhere else but Spain and Madrid. My mind doesn't even consider that option because I love Spain and I love everything about Spain. Everything. But it's also that other people don't feel like they belong here either because we've never been made to feel that way at school, for example. Moroccans suffer a lot of bullying.
Well, right now, today, I don't really think so anymore. I think maybe in your time it could have been true. Nowadays, in many areas like here, there are more Moroccans.
Of course.
More Moroccans than Spaniards in the school.
In my time, I suffered a lot. Yes, I went through a lot of bullying and Moroccans were marginalized too. Imagine growing up like that as a child. How can you explain it when you're older? No, you're one of us. Here we're all equal. No, it's not going to get through to him. Sure, now we're all equal. But as a kid, it was because I was different from you. At school, because you all played soccer together, all the Spaniards played soccer or all the Spaniards with the Latinos, and I was left alone.
But I also think that happens in Hispanic American communities. Sometimes they also feel a bit excluded, right?
Not so much, because Spaniards support Latinos a lot.
I am Latino. I actually hate the word Latino, in case you didn't know.
Damn, of course, I'm not Latino, I'm Hispanic.
That's right, man. Well said. Damn, dude. Latino means Spanish and Italian, too.
Of course, the Romans. But of course, they support Hispanics a lot because, like I said, they support them because it's the same language, the same culture, the same religion. But that's wrong.
That's not right, but it's natural in the end. I'm not saying discrimination should exist, but ultimately it's a natural part of everything. And look, it's not something exclusive to Spain. It's not something exclusive to Europe. It's not something exclusive to white people. Yes, of course, that happens everywhere. If you go to China as a European, you're going to get those stares too. Like, look at that dam. The other day, a girl posted she was on a beach in China. And people were passing by with their phones recording her like, what the hell is she doing here? So I'm not justifying it. I'm just trying to explain. Explaining is not justifying, just so you know. And honestly, we really could do some work so that everyone could integrate a little better. Because I see society as very divided.
It's quite divided, yes, quite divided. And I'm telling you, it's something natural, of course, it's something natural. But what's natural isn't always what's right, right? What's right isn't always what's natural because, for example, a lady is walking down a dark street and sees a black man. Maybe that black man has millions of euros in his pocket and doesn't need to steal. And even so, she's already afraid of him. She feels this way, that way.
I'll tell you something, Karam, and I think you'll agree with me. I don't think it has so much to do with skin color, but rather with classism. Let me explain it to you. Right now, since you have experience with crime, because you experience it firsthand, you deal with it practically every day. You see a black person at an abandoned train station at 12:30 at night and you're about to catch the last train. It's just you and him. 3 black men arrive in suits, open their laptops and begin working. You don't think anything like, well, maybe they're lawyers, who knows, maybe an ambassador, who knows. Now, if you see those same 3 people, same faces, same appearance, but instead of wearing suits, they're wearing saggy pants, flat-brimmed caps backwards, and brightly colored scarves, you immediately think they're a gang. Also, the way you present yourself to the world is how the world will perceive you. Just like when you see a Hispanic person dressed in a shirt and loafers, you don't think anything of it. But if you see that same Hispanic person or a group of Hispanic people, the same people but dressed in flat-brimmed caps and so on, your perception of them is already one of alertness. Do I make myself clear? I think it's not so much about being a person of color, not so much about being Hispanic, not so much about being a Moroccan person. It's about how these people dress and present themselves to the world. It's different seeing a Moroccan just off work versus one in a PSG tracksuit listening to Morad at the train station. The perception and the sense of alert are completely different.
Of course. I don't know if you agree with what I just said. Yes, of course. How you present yourself is usually how people see you. But I just don't see it. For example, if I see a person, like you said, listening to music or this or that, and another one in a suit, I see them the same way. Why? Because I've experienced it firsthand and I've lived it myself. So, of course, when you experience it firsthand, you don't see it like other people who haven't lived it firsthand. For example, someone else, if they see a person with their pants sagging, wearing caps, wearing chains and all that, and another person in a suit, they might classify them like, well, this one must be a better person or must have more money, and this one must be more of a gangster. Me, for example, I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way because, like I said, I've met people in suits who are way worse than people with chains. And with music and with
100%. As I said, I couldn't agree with you more.
It also depends on each person's experience.
What about the scammer? He presents himself as elegant. Why? To lower your guard. And that's how he gets you. It doesn't mean that how you present yourself to the world is a reflection of who you really are. It means a lady grabs her purse because she recognizes a repeating pattern. The typical guy stealing around Las Ramblas in Barcelona dresses very similarly. A new urban tribe with a distinct look. If you dress the same way as these people, it's very likely that people will feel a sense of danger when people like that are walking behind them.
It's just that many times I've clutched my own bag and maybe I'm walking and a lady is in front of me, scared, turning around, and I've had to cross to the other side of the street and I haven't seen it as a...
Do other Venezuelans feel this way too? In Hispanic America, does the same thing happen to you?
And I haven't seen myself as a normal Moroccan. I don't have the face of a normal Moroccan, nor do I have the accent. No, because you know I'm Moroccan. But people on the street, most of them don't say I'm Moroccan. They say I look more like a gypsy.
Gypsy?
Hey, I could give you a gypsy vibe. Yeah, gypsy, yes. And I don't have a Moroccan accent.
No, you grew up here.
Of course, I don't have a Moroccan accent. I don't look like a Moroccan. I don't wear baggy pants. I don't wear a jalaba. I don't wear a cap. And still, you notice it. You notice it. Obviously, it's normal. It's normal, like I said. That also happens because of all the bad things others are doing. Because yes, of course, if you live in a country where others aren't doing those bad things, there won't be that prejudice of condemning everyone.
What can be done to end these prejudices, which I understand still exist today? At the end of the day, the innocent often pay for the guilty, and we have to act responsibly and send a message of unity. You, as a Moroccan, and on top of that, a Moroccan who could be considered part of the far-right sphere, even if you might not even be far-right, but unfortunately you're labeled that way. Of course. Why? Because you defend private property, a big mistake. So the leftists have to hate you too, right?
Quite a lot. And a lot of people, a lot of leftists write to me saying that I'm a Nazi, that I'm this and that.
Now it's Karam the Nazi. Unbelievable.
I'm Moroccan, my brother on the right is Senegalese, and the one on the left is Venezuelan.
Wow, what an amazing team you have.
It sounds like a joke, man. So it doesn't make any sense.
But then, man, as a Moroccan immigrant, what solution do you suggest to end these prejudices that still exist today?
The thing is, prejudice is part of human nature.
Well, to help people feel more at ease or to calm the population from this state of panic and constant alert about immigrants.
For example, any immigrant who commits a crime should be sent back to their country. All of them. I'm not just talking about the illegal ones. I don't mean those without papers who come here for work and a better future. Not those. Because those people come here to take tough jobs, endure humiliation, and deal with a lot just to support their families and seek a better future. I'm referring to those who come here to commit crimes. If you come here to steal, or you come here to rob, or you come here to kill, go back to your country.
Yes, if you come here to work and do that, leave.
To your country. No. Whether you work or not, if you do that, go back to your country. To your country. And I think the country will be better that way. But of course, what can't be allowed is for you to be robbed. For stealing from a lady after knocking her down, snatched her purse, and 3 days later they're out. Yes.
Unfortunately, that's what happens.
That can't be allowed. For example, in Morocco, if they catch you with a knife like that,
And they give you 10 years.
10 years,
That's outrageous. Thank you.